This is Leviathan. Leviathan is a serpent that is being called the dark half of God. He is one of the four main elemental dragon gods. He is mainly the dragon god of the waters, the oceans, and the rivers. He is the protector against humanity to pollute it. Water in itself is also being called the other dragon god that is also capable of ruling the water is Tiamat. Tiamat is also, but once her body came on earth, her body was split in two. She had children very easy, and all of the children were serpents and dragons. And so she was split in two and laid herself down to earth, and everything that grows is still her body. That is why the best place to adore and to feel the dragon is to be in the forest or where nature is closer, where nature is at its strongest. And so, whenever you feel the forest, whenever you feel everything that grows, you feel Tiamat's energy. But yeah, this is about Leviathan. Leviathan is, like I said, the god of the water and the god of dragon's blood, also water, but also a god that truth, they say in the deepest of the waters is the opening of the void, and the void is a place between places where Leviathan rules. Leviathan is the guardian and the gatekeeper of the Dragon's Gate. The Dragon's Gate is a fifth gate that I call the fifth gate because you have to go through 5 different dimensions to reach it. Very far away and unreachable even. And even before the Dragon's Gate, behind the fifth one, there is still Leviathan to be with, to go through it. And only the dragon spirits, are being welcomed inside of the dragon realm, a dimension where the dragon is safe. That is why I never want the dragon to return, because here, whenever humanity will destroy the dragon, like they do with all the other animals. So they will they will see the dragon as a threat for their dominion. So in fact, what Leviathan actually is to see that there are no other spirits than dragons coming in, and that is why I thought it was very strange when I saw the Dragon Realm being between 2005 and 2006. That I saw the Dragon Realm, that I was being called welcome, while the other myself, a part of myself, my humanity, stayed behind here on Earth and was just an empty shell, while the dragon energy was gone for that moment. I remember nothing of it, nothing, only that I could see inside of the realm of the dragon. Um, Leviathan, is being called the dark half of God because everywhere they say, be afraid of Leviathan. Leviathan is the dark half of it, but also being called one of the 7 kings of hell. You can see the void as some kind of a hellish dimension, where Leviathan is, of course. It is like a hellish dimension, but it's not a punishment to be there. It is just a mirror. What the void actually is a dark mirror where you can reflect your own darkness and know what you're afraid of. And it doesn't affect Leviathan because he is the ruler of it. And it's not because he looks scary. It doesn't look scary. Not for any dragons anyway, but for humans they might, and they might be afraid of him and his large teeth. That is okay that humans are afraid of him. But if you are not afraid of the sea serpent, then it's time to be judged, because that is what Leviathan is, a judge. I always been raised as a Christian, as a Catholic, by nuns, and they always say when once your time here is up, you go to heaven, but before you go to heaven, you have to face Saint Peter, a guy that judges for your life for what you have done to enter eternal paradise. Well, what actually Leviathan is something like it, something like this Saint Peter, to judge, to see what your life is, and to see that you are worthy enough to enter paradise. Well, it's actually just a bit different with what Catholics said to me with Leviathan. Leviathan doesn't judge you for your life, what you did, sinning or not. But Leviathan is seeing through your soul. And that is what every dragon soul can do. They can see through your soul and how much it's being developed. You know what Leviathan actually is also a teacher. And that is our greatest gift from Leviathan. Leviathan is the father of all dragons, just like Tiamat is the mother of all dragons. And he is concerned about every one of us. That is why he splits himself in so many times that with every awakening, he is there. He will always be there. He's always, even if you don't know the dragon serpent, and he can shapeshift in every way. He will be there and be your trainer, your personal coach, you can say. Because he wants you to be called welcome. Because you have a dragon soul, one of his children. It shouldn't go being to waste. It shouldn't go lost inside of the void. So now it's time to let this human be trained by Leviathan. Leviathan, father of the spirit that lives inside. He is not really a judge for what you have done. He's not the seven kings of hell. Don't worry about that. He's not the seven kings of hell. And I think it was, um, yeah, one about, what was his sin again? They said it, envy it was. Envy was his main sin. It's of course ridiculous, of course, but it's just to be afraid of him, to be afraid. But are you afraid? You shouldn't be afraid. There's no reason to be afraid of your father, of the father of your spirit. Why should you be afraid of one that is connected to you? That is what all of these religions don't know, of course. You are connected to it. And that is why you don't run away from it. You are not afraid of it. But yeah, like I said, he chases so many spirits away. He is the ultimate judge, but he has authority, a lot of authority. Just like every other dragon god has their ultimate way of authority, Leviathan has the ultimate way of authority. He judges simply out of your development, not what you have done. Of course, you can do whatever you want in this entire life, and there is no need to judge, but to judge your spirit, how it developed and how you are. Are you being called welcome inside of the dragon's gate? Are you welcome in the realm? Because humans destroy and destroy. You know, they cannot take any risk for a human to enter the dragon realm. And that is what Leviathan's task is. He might seem dark, and that is, of course, when I saw when I saw this dragon serpent Leviathan, I questioned my own faith, because I, as well, just like Lucifer, I just was afraid of the name. I was afraid, and I could feel all of his darkness, but it's all a test to be one with your darkness, so that you are not afraid of the void. Whatever the void is throwing at you, we'll just take it. That is why our path is gray. We seek the light, but we can't stand the dark. We can be one with it. And that is what Leviathan teaches us. Whenever you are going to the dragon realm, be connected with darkness, be connected with the void, be connected with everything, because that is what Leviathan is trying to show us. He is actually showing us our own dark soul, and the soul that can swim inside of the void with no problem at all. He is Saint Peter, but he's not a human. He's just not a human. Just like Tiamat is also, whenever they are both coming together, Tiamat and Leviathan, they are actually not coming well together, but in fact they are mother and father of all dragons. The mother and father, and together they do everything to let yourself be developed. Of course, there are other main dragon gods like Quetzalcoatl and Fafnir, but both of them, yeah, that is a different story. That is why the first dragon god is always the most important that comes to you. It always develops your own path. She was the first that came to me, and then he arrived. Of course, what I didn't know that he was already there, but she let herself be known for the first. Later, it was time for Leviathan to reveal himself, and now it's time to be one with darkness and light together. That is why we are a grey path. That is why we don't decide between dark and light. We decide, like the dragons, at the moment what we will choose. Like I said, Leviathan is like Saint Peter. He's the judge. So it's actually very good to have a tight relationship with your dragon, because dragon by your side, your guardian, your angel, you can say, um, that is also a child of Leviathan. He also, the dragon by your side will be guided by Leviathan and by the other dragon gods might as well, so that you will eventually be developed and be one with darkness. And darkness is not bad. Darkness is not evil. There is no such thing as evil. Only darkness, only light, only things like this. You can have dark intentions, light intentions, but evil or good, oh no. That is a battle that doesn't exist. It doesn't need to be a battle. It's always going to be connected to each other. Every tree that you see will always be light and dark. Always. So there is no need to be afraid of shadows, because in the end, Leviathan is our shadow.